pada produk Remastop yang didapatkan dari tumbuhan seledri dan jahe merah berkhasiat untuk mengontrol ataupun meredakan nyeri sendi dan tulang akibat asam urat ataupun rematik. Berikut 5 tanaman obat yang terkandung di setiap kapsul Remastop. Apium graveolens herbae atau seledri, Curcuma xanthorrhiza rhizoma atau temulawak, Curcuma domestica rhizoma atau kunyit, ekstrak Sida rombifolia herbal atau sida gurih, ekstrak Synggiber officinale rhizoma atau jahe merah. Bukan hanya mengobati penyakit persendian dan tulang saja, Remastop juga dapat menjadi sumber vitamin bagi tubuh agar persendian dan tulang tetap sehat dan terjaga.
Apa sih antiinflamasi itu? Jadi antiinflamasi merupakan respon protektif dalam tubuh terhadap rangsangan. Nah, pentingnya antiinflamasi dalam tubuh, dia berfungsi untuk mengurangi rasa nyeri, kemerahan, dan bengkak pada area tubuh yang terinfeksi. Nah, kandungan flavonoid dalam tubuh sendiri, dia berfungsi sebagai antiinflamasi yang baik. Bagaimana mekanisme dan cara kerja obat di dalam tubuh? Jadi, obat akan masuk dan diekspresikan atau dipecah di dalam ginjal. Setelah terekskresi di dalam ginjal, akan larut ke pembuluh darah. Ketika obat sudah mulai menyebar melalui pembuluh darah, nah saat itu juga tubuh akan merespon melalui reseptor agonis, sehingga akan menekan keluhan. Ketika kadar asam urat dalam tubuh sudah meningkat, memang jarang bisa disembuhkan. Akan tetapi bisa ditekan menggunakan obat-obatan tertentu. Apalagi obat-obatan yang mengandung antiinflamasi seperti contohnya flavonoid.
Satu box Remastop terdapat 45 kapsul, yang setiap kapsulnya mengandung 5 ekstraksi terbaik yang sudah melewati uji klinis dan mendapatkan sertifikasi dari Badan POM dan Halal MUI, sehingga aman untuk dikonsumsi dan menjadi salah satu rekomendasi produk terbaik untuk penderita pegal linu, nyeri sendi akibat asam urat ataupun rematik. Cukup meminum Remastop 3 kali sehari sesudah makan, maka kesehatan persendian dan tulang Anda akan terjaga.
Jangan lupa menjaga kesehatan Anda dengan tetap mengkonsumsi obat yang sudah terdaftar BPOM dan Halal MUI agar Anda dapat merasakan khasiatnya yang aman dan tidak menimbulkan efek samping apapun yang dapat memperburuk kondisi Anda. Sayangi diri Anda dan keluarga Anda dengan memeriksakan keluhan yang Anda rasakan saat ini, atau Anda dapat berkonsultasi dengan praktisi profesional dari kami yang terpercaya dengan menghubungi kontak di bawah ini.
Southeast Asia and the world. Rise and shine and happy Friday, everyone. Maybe not shining too much because it's been raining all night long here in central Jakarta, but nevertheless, we're going to kick the day off with you. Thank you for joining us bright and early this morning on the 6th of December, 2024. It is just past 6 in the a.m. And as per usual, for the next 3 hours, we'll be sharing with you all the latest news and updates from Indonesia and beyond. We've got the latest world updates as well, from South Korea all the way to the United States and the Middle East. We've got your Friday morning sports and entertainment and business roundups as well, and a couple of talk shows. One of them may involve a Christmas performance. It is December, so Christmas is around the corner, and so is the weekend, by the way, which is why we're a little bit casual. And speaking of weekend, let's say hello to the weekend squad, or weekenders, I like to call them. They love the weekend as well as much as I do. This is Jasmine, Karina joining us this morning.
Good morning,
ladies. Happy Friday.
Good morning. I love this color coordination, by the way, before we enter. It's very blushy pink.
Pastel, I love it.
Changing of season, you know, we're getting to the colder weather. Might as well.
I know Paul's ready for it. He's all cozied up in a sweater.
I've got my cozy cardigan. I'm ready to cuddle with my hot chocolate by the fireplace.
Speaking of hot chocolate, we do have a bunch of talk shows today. We have two. One of them is about understanding juvenile justice. And if you want to get your chocolate ready for the second interview that we're having, we have actually Mendapatkan, who's going to be performing the latest Christmas album that she has, as well as a little interview for that. I'm Jasmine Herwan again, and we'll have more of that and more. So stay tuned and make sure you keep it up with us only on the C Morning Show. And make sure you also follow us on our social media and connect with us on X, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yes, folks, as both Paul and Jasmine have mentioned, we do have a jam-packed show this Friday AM. Good morning, I'm your host, Karina Basrewa, and I'd like to take the chance to greet our friends who are now able to tune in for Fox Sales Flash Australia, the Cow Cable TV Channel 84, Vision Philippines Channel 58, Air Cable Philippines, and if you're in Singapore, Singtel Singapore Channel 15 and StarHub Channel 720. All right, guys, we do have a jam-packed show. Let us start the show with our headlines. Paul, take it away.
Thank you, Karina. Our top story: Indonesia delivered a firm statement during the UN General Assembly Emergency Special Session on December the 4th, focusing on Israel's illegal actions in Palestinian territory.
State-owned enterprises Minister Eric Thohir met with delegates from the U.S. private sector to boost bilateral trade partnership here in Indonesia.
Reok Ponorogo has officially been classified as, quote, in need of urgent safeguarding under the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List.
And great news from Indonesian football, as the Indonesian women's national team has recently won the 2024 AFF Women's Cup after defeating Cambodia 3-1 in the finals. All right, let us get to some world news. We begin in the Middle East, where recent Israeli airstrikes have hit the Mawasi camp for displaced Palestinians in Khan Yunis and taken the lives of at least 21.
Israeli airstrikes recently hit the camp that has been designated as a humanitarian safe zone. The head of a nearby hospital said that at least 21 were killed in the attack. The Mawasi camp, which is home to hundreds of thousands of displaced individuals, have been hit by multiple strikes throughout the conflict.
Piles of debris and burnt belongings were seen scattered across the site on Thursday morning. Dozens of grieving families also gathered to mourn the loss of their loved ones at the morgue inside the Nasser hospital.
فجأة إلا الصاروخ بضرب بنزل هنا وكذا صاروخ حزام ناري لأنه صار أخطر من تفجير. التفجير اللي صار عندنا امبارح مش طبيعي يا ناس. التفجير صار في أشلاء وقتلى.
Continuing the story from the region now, dozens of Palestinian families in northern Gaza were forcibly displaced on Wednesday when the Israeli military expelled them from schools that they have been using as makeshift shelters.
Displaced Palestinian families packed the road, leaving Beit Lahia and headed south with nowhere to go. Some left on foot, while others used motorized rickshaws, bicycles, or even donkey carts to carry kids, older adults, and their belongings.
And they have said that Israel expanded major offensive in the north, which has become the most heavily affected and isolated part of the Gaza Strip. In addition, Israeli forces have almost completely besieged the area since early October.
حدفت 4 قنابل، في جرحى وفي أشلاء، طلعنا شردين. إن سنة هلقيت وشهرين وإحنا بناكل العشب وإحنا بناكل الحشيش وإحنا بناكل العلف تاع البهايم بعد عنك، لكن ما واحد معبرنا.
إن سنة و3 شهور صامدين في مدينة بيت لاهيا، والجيش توغل علينا توغل مش طبيعي، نزع علينا بالحزامات النارية وفي الطخ، والكواد كاب رجت على المدرسة رمت قنابل، وابوي اتصاب في دقيقتين، علينا ابوي كمال عدوان. وانا جاي الجيش وقفني وخلاني ارمي لواعة تاعاتي والجوال تبعي، وقاعد بجر اخوي هذا المعاق من مدينة بيت لاهيا، انا قاعد بجر فيه.
Furthermore, the United Nations General Assembly resumed its 10th emergency special session to discuss the situation in Israel and Palestine on Wednesday.
Riyad Mansour, permanent observer of the state of Palestine to the United Nations, called for an immediate and unconditional permanent ceasefire during the meeting.
Referring to Israel's onslaught in Gaza as a genocide, Mansour called for an immediate end to the ongoing mass killing, displacement, and starvation of Palestinians. He condemned Israeli actions as a cruel war of atrocities against an entire civilian population, breaching every rule and crossing every red line.
The president of the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Philemon Yang, urged the Israeli government to fulfill its obligation under international law and allow the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East to continue its vital work in the occupied Palestinian territories, now including East Jerusalem, as authorized by the General Assembly.
Images of our children burning in tents with no food in their bellies and no hopes and no horizon for the future, and after having endured pain and loss for more than a year, should haunt the conscience of the world and prompt action to end this nightmare and stop it from happening. Never again for our people or any other people. Never again. We plead with all nations gathered here, extinguish the fire devouring our children. Is that too much to ask?
Meanwhile, Indonesia delivered a firm statement during the UN General Assembly Emergency Special Session, which took place on December the 4th, focusing on Israel's illegal actions in Palestinian territories.
Foreign Affairs Vice Minister Armanata Nasir said that double standards in Gaza are undermining the multilateral system.
During the session, the Indonesian Foreign Affairs Vice Minister also addressed the failure of the United Nations Security Council to effectively take measures regarding the Gaza situation. 8 proposed resolutions aimed at ending violence were blocked by vetoes. However, none out of the 4 adopted resolutions